Greg, what are you doing?
It's, meditation, my dear, meditation.
Meditation?
You know, I used to let the world get to me. Let little things stress me out. Now nothing gets to me. Nothing penetrates my inner peace.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I appreciate you trying to test the strength of my will, but, you know, honestly, I really don't think you...
Yo, Adrian!
Okay.
You see, you didn't listen. I tried to tell you the mind is a powerful thing.
Okay, so blue. Okay, I guess that's what I was looking at because I don't, it doesn't specify, or like I say, that's what I was asking about receipts. It doesn't specify what we actually purchased. And it just gives us an overall number. It doesn't like material supplies. So we don't know if we actually spent that.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a summertime scorcher edition of Houston County News. My name is Messenger Reporter Greg Ritchie, and as always, we're so happy to have you along with us. And we have got a different show for you this morning, but, you know, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this might be one of our most important shows. Folks, I never thought I'd say these words out loud to a group of human beings. We are going to look at the 4-hour Crockett City Council budget workshop that happened this past Monday. Now, listen, I did the hard work for you. I have pages and pages of notes. You can see them all here. I'm not going to make you watch 4 hours like I did maybe more than once. There's a reason behind my madness, and I think you need to see it. It's one thing to read about it in the newspaper. Of course, it's one thing to hear about it online or you know, see a couple minutes of it. I'm going to break down the moments that I don't quite know how to put this. Maybe we should be ashamed of, or I don't know. It's pretty bad. And anyway, since misery loves company, I thought I'd bring you along with me. Thanks for joining us, and we will be back and get the show started right after this. And a big thanks to our sponsors, as this morning's edition of Houston County News brought to you by Darling Ingredients, supporting our local ag youth and youth programs. By Houston County Electric Co-op, power for your way of life. By Houston County Hot Tax Funds, promoting tourism and economic growth in Houston County. By Dr. Mike McLeod and the good people at Texas Family Doctor. And by the Houston County Public Information Project. Stay in touch with your county government and get information about everything from law enforcement to the County Historical Commission. Visit co.houston.tx.us and get connected to Houston County. From tax and election information to updates from the county sheriff and local courts. You'll find contact numbers, addresses, and many of your questions answered right there on the website. From tax information to emergency management, click on co.houston.tx.us. Keep in touch with Houston County, first in Texas, first in our hearts. Now, folks, so as promised, we're not going to have a lot of preamble. I want to get through some of these clips, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents, but I don't know that you'll need that. I think most of you watching this morning are going to look at these clips and say, wow, that's not good. So, you know, the idea of a budget workshop is they get together and they hear from all the different departments. And, you know, the policemen say, hey, we need a new this. And the fire department says, hey, we need a new that. And they kind of take all that into consideration and then go back, and over time they massage the numbers. This meeting, as a matter of fact, this is less than a minute in. We never even got to that. We're approving the minutes from the last meeting And surprise, surprise, already there's trouble.
On the last minutes that, the last meeting that we had, I'm asking that we review the last meeting because I believe Mr. Duran had made a motion to, call the question. And as I recall, and just looking back at my review, there was no second. And I believe when you call upon a question, there must be a second. So I would ask you to review that. It's stating that Mr. Ivy made the motion. He seconded, but we just need to review that and see if it was a second.
I just appreciate if you have any questions like that to bring it to our attention ahead of time. We send it out quite early in advance so we can make corrections or be prepared to bring additional information back to council. If we prepared the minutes wrong, we can address that. At this point, you're talking about something that we don't have time to go and look back. I mean, it's up to council right now to decide if Mr. Dennis knows that he made a second to the.
Well, we have the video. We have the recording.
We don't have the time to review it now.
We can review it and you can bring it back to us at a later date, but.
That will be a council's decision.
Okay, if you'd like me to call you at 1 a.m. in the morning,
That's fine.
I will do that. So,
That's fine.
but that means that if that's the case, then, well, we'll look at the correction at a later date because you can make a correction at any time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Now, folks, this is where we get into the meat of the problem, and I wish I could explain this. I wish there was some simple explanation. Folks, if you have ever run a business, ever managed people, ever managed a project, you understand there's big picture, there's day-to-day, there's middle checks and controls. Mr. Angerstein here reveals, City Manager John Angerstein, City Administrator, we got to be exact. He gets 3 to 4 emails a day from Precinct 3 Councilwoman Natrina Hicks. I want you to stop and think about that. 3 to 4 emails a day. Now, we've already heard from sources at City Hall that she spends a lot of time up there demanding printing of different documents and different kind of things. And when this came up in the meeting, this is classic. There's nothing you can read on a paper that will convey what went on. I want you to think about what they're actually talking about here. In other words, she says, hey, we don't have the full numbers. And Angerstein says, what do you mean? There they are. And so you're going to hear Mr. Duran come in and sort of go, so in other words, where it says office supplies, you want it to say like how many pens and everything else. And the answer may surprise, well, at this point, will it really surprise you? I mean, honestly, will it really?
In order for us to get you the best equipment, we got to find the money or the funds to get you that. So once John, bring that to us and we look at the financial issue or aspect of your department and the monies that we actually have on hand, and what we can do for each department, then we can make sure that you have that equipment that you need that we can actually purchase. But the thing of it is right now, we're going to have to continue either renting or leasing until we can get to that point to where we see where the monies or the funds going to come from in order to make that large of a purchase.
You keep on mentioning that you don't have the numbers. You have an activity report that has it broken down to the month. I have the budget in front of you. The budget that
Itemized.
Yes, ma'am. It's itemized on page 2 for the last
department.
4 years. Yes, ma'am.
No. You have it all.
No, ma'am. It's for each department and broken down by what it's spent on. Each department has this, and these are the numbers that we're going.
See what they're spending it on. We have numbers.
Do you want a check register? I'm not.
If I need, they don't.
We have that.
Okay.
You can look at a check register. All I'm having is what we're spending on. You say you don't know what we're spending on? This is what we're spending on maintenance and repair of trucks, on maintenance and repair of equipment, on the streets, on insurance, on electricity, on gas. Those are what we're spending. The gas
We're receiving.
In the telephones,
We don't have, that's what I'm saying.
I can bring you boxes worth of receipts. Our auditor.
You should have this, when you're doing,
I can give you a check register, but right now,
when
I'm
you're
showing,
doing,
I'm
when you're
telling you
budgeting
what you're
for a
spending on.
department, when you're budgeting for a department and you have itemized lists for each item, right?
Right here.
That you make a purchase for.
It's right here.
So if they buy pens, you don't want to see it under office supplies. You want to see pens bought. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to see what they're spending.
And I see your point, but we had an auditor, and this was before I got on council. The auditor come in and did this exact same thing and signed off on the budget, and that everything was there. And this council, when you were on it, approved that auditor's report. So I don't understand why we're hung up on that now.
You ask me questions throughout the entire week, 3 or 4 emails every day. Hey, I want to see this. I send those informations to you. If you want that, we have check registers. We have come in and all week long. I'm your person to ask those type of questions, and I will give those information. If you want to see how, like I said, office supplies. Do you want to see how much money is spent on pens versus paper versus ink? Those things, just ask me. Even that information is available. But what I'm telling you here is broken apart in categorized office supplies, gasoline, repairing vehicles. Those are all broken apart and categorized what we spent money on. And I have it right here on page 2. So for us to be able to move forward through this process, it's really critical that we get on the same page on how y'all want us to proceed. Because this is very dysfunctional. There's no way to get through a budget workshop if we're talking about these items.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next couple clips I want to show you should make your heart warm and make us very proud. A lot of the people around this county who run departments and even businesses and stuff are such stand-up good people. And they don't go around bragging about it. They don't go around seeking credit. They're just the kind of people you go, I'd love to work for that guy, right? I would love to open a business with her. Look at that spirit and that attitude. Well, Crockett Police Chief Clayton Smith comes up and says, listen, we stand to lose maybe as much as half of our current force within the next few months. Scary stuff. Look at this.
Just being blunt and straight up with y'all, if we don't significantly address our pay scale, we're going to lose over half of our department. I think we're going to see a mass exodus within the coming months if we don't address it. Simply because there's so many other opportunities out there that go back and forth. Start out at $8,000 plus a year and get a take-home car. Like I told y'all, they come in and met with you. I understand we may not be able to match Lufkin, Huntsville, Houston, Dallas, but I think we have to find something for our city that keeps them around. And if they're local, they want to stay, they have family, there's something that they can survive on. So I do think that pay scale adjustment is very significant and important to the police department. If you lose 9 of your police officers, you're looking at losing more than half of your force. Then I think we have to come back and discuss seriously what services we want to start cutting within the police department. Do we want to cut 24-hour coverage? Do we only want to respond to in-progress calls? How we want to fix that, because the shortage like that, it's going to be pretty significant.
So now, rather than taking that information in as something to be studied or discussed, Councilwoman Hicks has a different proposal. You know, I'm not even going to speculate as to what might motivate it or not motivate it. This is one of just the... okay, look, this is one of the strangest things I've seen in a long time, and I've seen some stuff, folks. Look at this.
I'm going to tell you that I appreciate you advocating for your staff. You always do. Y'all always do every year. But somehow, right now, I'm just looking at the numbers. I can't see us doing, raises right now for the staff. Not to say that in the future that we look at that. But I will say that just looking from my standpoint, kind of figuring like the salaries of everyone, and bringing it to the attention of the council feel like that at this point in time, you need a raise. I appreciate everything that you do for the city. I'm looking overall at all of the salaries, and I see that looking at you and your administrator, Miss Georgia Hopkins, I think she's been here serving the city for 37 years. So kind of putting those numbers together, and I guess I just need to put it out there.
And they go on to talk about Miss Georgia Hopkins, who also works there at the police department. Lovely lady. Lord knows if anybody deserves a raise, it is her. But Chief Smith isn't finished yet, and he does something astounding and something I hope he's proud of. We haven't spoken about it, but I was sure proud of it. Watch how he answers.
Well, let me say this. I appreciate everything you just said. But as far as myself, I absolutely will stand here and refuse a pay raise if we don't address the men and women that work for me. Because the truth is, that's almost frustrating, because they're the ones that are out there getting into the creeks in the water and pulling the dead bodies out, investigating the homicide, picking up unresponsive infant children and rushing them to the hospital. If I didn't have them working, I wouldn't be needed. So I do appreciate you saying that, but I think we better focus on the staff that makes this city run, because if you don't, and I mean what I'm saying, if you don't address the salaries of that staff as a whole, the city's going to find itself in a bad spot.
If you men will take no pay, then none of us will.
Protecting nature starts by acting like nature, giving every end a new beginning. And at Darling Ingredients, that's exactly what we've been doing for over 140 years. We challenge the waste mindset by applying the same circularity found in nature to everything we do, all while providing a whole new cycle of good that's born from the old, exactly as nature intended.
Now, of course, you understand there is a strange fascination, even a year and a half, however long it's been now, since CEIDC shut down. Councilwoman Hicks has, I don't think she's quite gotten over that. And there may be some emotional support that we might be able to give her. So basically what happened was, when CEIDC was voted shut down, the rules were pay off any debts you have, right? Fulfill any commitments, which includes maybe an accounting firm or an attorney or whatever CEIDC as its own thing needed to shut down its operations. Then it said, once you've done that, any sales tax money that still has to come in, because CEIDC still owes millions of dollars, by the way, that money legally has to hit the CEIDC bank account. Then you put it in an escrow account, and the city can take it from there and use it to pay CEIDC's debts. Now, that sounds really complicated. Basically, CEIDC can't do or pay anything because it doesn't exist. It's there as a placeholder to take the tax money in to show the good folks, hey, here it is, here's what came in, here's the debt we're paying down, in another 7 years or whatever it's going to be, we'll be done with that. This doesn't sit well with one of the council members, because they don't know how escrow accounts work. They don't remember when this all went down, or they just want to cause me to do a whole podcast about one stupid budget meeting. Look at this.
It says the foregoing amounts will be transferred to an escrow account to be dispersed as costs are incurred for the foregoing obligations that are related to the windup of the corporation. So I will show that, track it. Here's how much money we received this month or this past year, and this is the debt that we paid off, or the USDA debt that we paid off, and it'll be reflected in the budget. That way you can track the activities, the amount of money that's coming in and the amount of money that's going out.
And so we do have an account for the CNEC, right?
Yes,
So why are we having to transfer it?
Because it has to be, because by resolution, it has to be transferred into an escrow account. That those
And that's
monies,
just by resolution.
so all of those monies have to be captured, shown as a transfer, and then every dollar accounted for paying off the debt.
So
until
we
the
actually
debt's paid away.
so we actually really didn't have to transfer it. We could have just left the monies in that account. So, you know,
Our legal advice, the legal advice from our attorneys was to make a transfer into an escrow account. Whether we had to or not, that was the legal advice that we went on.
yeah,
but
that,
it's-
but that
it's-
wasn't
it's-
presented with the legal advice. I don't know if that was presented to us. You know, because taking the legal advice, we just went with what was advised.
Yeah, that's what we have to do. That's what I wouldn't veer off from that.
But if we didn't have to do it, what kind of legal?
I don't know that we didn't have to. Our attorney said that we should. So I don't know. I'm not an attorney. That's what I'm saying. According to them, that is the cleaner way to track the funds, to make sure that we're not commingling funds. They have to be a set aside escrow account to make sure that there's no commingling and additional, tracking required. You can see in, out, and it should tally up.
Now, this next clip I'm going to let play for a bit. I'm not going to interrupt it, but you talk about, I want detailed reports. I want to know every single pencil that's bought. Was it a number 2? Was it a number 5? Are there number 5 pencils? I think that, I don't know that I've ever seen one. They always told me, when you're a kid in tests, bring 2 number 2 pencils. I don't know if I ever saw a number 3 pencil. Anyway, I want you to listen to this and just take a minute, think about what is being asked, think about the man hours and work it would take to do this, to comply with this request. Then I want you to think about the dollars spent on ink and paper in 2026. Can we email you a PDF? And it's answered very brilliantly. And at one point, Mr. Duran even says, he asked John Angerstein, he said, how big is the city budget overall, ballpark? And John Angerstein says $12 million. So in other words, you want a detailed, printed out report for $1 million a month. You don't need department heads at that point. You don't need John Angerstein. You don't need an auditor. You don't need anybody. As a matter of fact, why don't we just turn the city over to one city councilwoman and be done with it?
But we don't.
That's
know.
not the worksheet.
Okay, I guess that's why I was looking at it, because I don't, it doesn't specify, or like I said, that's what I was asking about receipts. It doesn't specify what we actually purchased, and it just gives us an overall number. It doesn't material and supplies. I mean, we don't know if we actually spent that on those.
I can guarantee you we spent it. So all it needs is you to ask, and I will pull the check register, whatever it is you want to see. Those expenses.
How do you keep up with? That's what
We have software that does that.
Okay.
But each and every week or 2 weeks, we'll cut 80 something accounts payable checks. So there's no way to show you every check that we cut unless you come in and say, hey, I want to see, this one.
But what I'm saying is it should be documented, right?
Of course.
When you make the purchase.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what I'm asking. So can we get a printout of
No, ma'am.
each?
There's no way to give a printout of that much information.
Like monthly?
Yes.
Purchases monthly?
If council wants to do that, I will be glad to do that. But we'll have to let council tell me if that's what they want.
Okay.
That information is always available to you, though.
Well, I would like it monthly.
Okay.
I don't know about the rest.
Well,
Because I mean,
if council
because I can't.
wants a monthly check register or however y'all want that broken down, we can do that.
Okay, because I mean,
Hang on one second. Let me ask you a question. So like under materials and like it says oils, gas, and grease. You want a breakdown of every dollar. If we budgeted $10,000, you want a breakdown of every $10,000, every penny that they spent. You want to see a receipt for every bit of that money.
the state does.
And the state gets it.
And the state gets it.
Well,
And
we can't get it.
well, yeah, I'm not saying that you can't, but
You get it in that
we
audit.
paying outside.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I would like. I would like to get what the state gets. If the state gets a breakdown, because, I mean, just in general, if you're working for the state, they want for every penny accounted for. So how do we know what we're working with?
But
We have an auditor
legislator,
that- We
okay.
have an auditor, hang on, John.
Okay.
We have an auditor that reviews that,
Yeah.
and if there's any discrepancies, they bring that before council.
Okay, so that means that we don't look at what we're approving, we just rubber stamp it and just say whatever the auditor says. I mean,
Because you're not auditors.
no, I'm not auditing, but I do have, but what I'm saying is that we do have responsibility of the finances of the city. And so to know what each department has, or spends their money on, helps us to determine how much money or how many funds they're gonna need the next year. So we don't just say, I'm gonna give you an example. I saw postage stamps, whatever. Let's see. Give you an example.
While she's looking, what's our ballpark budget for annually? Just give me, how many million?
12 million.
12 million.
Okay, postage. Okay, just like for instance, postage. Okay, do we spend $2,000 on postage
Absolutely.
in a certain department?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking. If we can find where we can make leverage on some of the other areas where we can find monies to purchase what Mr. Coulter needs for the roads. I mean, let's
For the
look
last-
at
Let me interject.
for the-
I mean, may I interject one thing?
Sure, you're the mayor.
Number one, we're not micromanaging department. You hire a department head to do your department. If they decide they want to support postage is what they need, because some days they have to spend out some things they're not. A department head ought to be able to designate where they want, if they're spending it on something other than what they want. But it's not our job to say you can't buy postage. For us to go into their budget and tell them where to spend it, it has to be a level of accountability with them. If they're spending it within their budget, if you wanted to have a conversation, that would be different. But to designate, we need to take money here and put it there, we're micromanaging. That's why you have managers to do that.
Well, I mean, we hired that nice lady right there to do that for us.
That's where I'm at. That's what I'm saying.
So we hired her to do that.
Yeah.
So I hired her. Her years of experience trump mine.
Right.
I can balance my checkbook, but her years of experience as a city or a city finance director, I'm going to trust what she says until I can't be.
Well, what I would like for, I'm not going to say I'm not trusting what she says or what says, but I would like to see it for myself. So if she has a printout of the information of the how the budget is itemized, I would love to have a copy of it. But that's what I'm saying. But my thing of it is that we have numbers here, and we don't have an idea of what is for. We have numbers, but we don't have exactly what the departments are purchasing. And if she has that, someone like me, if I want to look at it, allow me to see it.
But
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about
it's
$12 million budget. That's going to take John or her an astronomical amount of time to pull all those receipts to make those available to you.
Well, see,
I mean,
the thing
that's
is,
a waste of our time.
well, we're supposed to get monthly reports anyway. So
and you
I
do.
mean, so
You
we
get an
don't
activity.
get monthly reports on each department. But
Yeah,
if
you
we
do.
did,
You do.
we could keep up with that.
You do. You get an activity report showing how much is spent in each department, in each
Yeah,
budget.
how much overall?
No.
But we're not getting
No,
it
ma'am.
itemized.
You are itemized. You are getting it itemized. You have it right there in front of you. I'm looking at it from here.
No,
You can
no,
pull out the things.
That's the worksheet.
Yeah, no, that's not.
The activity.
No,
okay.
you know exactly
So
what
I'm going to move forward.
Yes, sir.
So,
Go ahead, move forward.
so here's the thing. Like I said, if we do each and every payroll, or twice a month when we cut checks and everything, those are available. If you're like, hey, why are we spending $2,000? I'll be glad to show you those receipts. For me to put that number in here, it's already been tried and true. I know that we're spending that much in postage and stamps and everything else in that department. If it's building and standards and we have to send out notices, we'll send out 60 certified envelopes to people within a 300-foot, in the water department, we send out 3,500 utility bills each and every month. All of those cost money, lots of money. So all of those are tried and true. My job over the last several months has been to do exactly what you're saying. If you want to sit down, we have banker boxes of receipts. You can look through them to your heart's content. I welcome you to do so, but to provide all of those into spreadsheets and create more work and materials and supplies for paper and bring those to you every week, month, That, I don't see it as being realistic or something that, but if council says that, we will gladly do that as well.
Now,
So-
the thing of it is, like I said, it's just, I mean, we're getting numbers and we can't, evaluate actually what
You
that
can't.
department can, actually need, what the need is.
I think that
You can't, that's what my job is as a city manager, to know exactly what they need, what they spent, what we're trending to go over on, what we need to adjust. That's why it's called a budget. I've looked through this over the last several months, and I've made these adjustments for y'all to look at. That was my job. Your job is to look at it, and if anything looks off, say, hey, can we meet later on? I'm wondering why we're spending that $2,000 in stamps. Be glad to show you, and I'll show you exactly where it's going and why it's 2,000.
That's
I really, because otherwise you don't need me. You don't need me. You don't need a finance director. Y'all can run the city yourself.
That's what I'm saying, is that you're just giving us numbers and you're not giving us details about what expenses.
That's
But,
basically-
okay,
What kind of details do you need? Trey, what? I mean, it's not.
We don't have, he's basically giving us numbers.
We've
So
gone-
the thing, but my question is, this is my question, this is gonna be my question, is that, okay, since that, John has, went through, looked at everything, why are we even having a workshop? If he's bringing us, and he's already looked at all the numbers, and he's thinking that everything is approvable, why are we having a workshop?
To approve.
There's lots of decisions.
That's what I'm saying, so
There's
you
lots
want
of
us to make a
decisions.
decision, but you've already made the decision.
Nope.
There's no decision made.
No decisions have been made.
Okay,
This is a presentation.
Mayor and council, I feel that we've gotten off topic and we need to realign.
So we are aligning, we
No, we need to realign. We need to realign with what our agenda is.
Agenda is on the workshop.
No, that's not our agenda right now.
Now, I mean, he's
That's not our agenda item right now.
he's starting speaking
That wasn't what we agreed to move forward to.
Your Houston County Electric Cooperative is in the final stages of its massive construction project in order to serve our members better. Our entry is now near the HCEC sign, where you'll find our drive-through window. Since 1939, HCEC has brought reliable energy to every corner of our area, supported by our members and our brave linemen working through the weather to keep the lights on. We are your Houston County Electric Co-op, providing power for your way of life.
Well, folks, if I haven't exhausted you or bored you, there's one last clip that I really feel like you have to see. So Crockett Eye Clinic came to the city and said, hey, we need more parking. There's an empty lot there that the city owns. Nobody's using it. Why don't we come up with a plan to do this together? And it'll be a lot that our customers can use, or people who's coming into the city, visiting other business. First come, first served. We won't have any exclusive rights to it, but because it's in our mutual interest, we'll throw in some money and the city can throw in some money. Now that sounds to me like a cheap way for the city to get another parking lot close to downtown on unused land. But listen, I've been, called things on social media by former elected officials, so maybe I am dense and I just don't get it. So Dr. McCall, the owner of Crockett Eye Clinic, came back and said, I'll tell you what, you say it's going to cost $15,000 to make it nice and everything that whatever goes into parking lots. McCall said, I'll put in 10 grand. The city puts in 5, I'll put in 10 grand. Now that sounds like almost a slam dunk, right? No. What? No, come on, nothing's going to be that easy. You already know that.
John, I make a motion that, we basically,
Accept the terms as stated.
no, because, I make a motion that we get, detailed, construction cost of the
15.
design, and design of the parking lot, blacktop, the material that we're gonna use for the project, the type of necessities, improvements that we're gonna need for that project, and an itemized budget cost overall. And the long-term agreement, we're losing, we'll probably be, we're losing.
Okay.
We're listening. But anyway, I just
you
want,
making sure, Jay.
basically right now, I'm looking at it until the council really looks at this agreement. I motion that, I move that we table this agreement to council has the opportunity to discuss, because we need some teeth, some meat in this, agreement. I move that we table the agreement for further discussion. And then the attorney review any previous agreements that were made before this agreement, because what this agreement does, it cancels out all the previous agreements that were made. Also, not just saying that, do we have any council or employees who have businesses in that area that will benefit from this? Also, do we know, you said drainage issues, how far are we going to deal with the drainage issues?
Are you asking questions? Or?
Okay, well,
So I'm basically these are questions that I'm posing, so I'm just kind of giving you what I looked at overall. So, also, well, go ahead and tell me if our previous attorney
okay.
looked at, but this is a question, so not just that though, he's only paying $666.67 a year for 15 years. So we would be,
No, ma'am.
that's what I figured up here, unless I made a mistake. Please, correct me if I did.
So, in answer to your question, no, there's been no agreements ever made. That's why I'm bringing this to council now. And this was approved by our attorney.
Okay, so who created I know it was approved by attorney, who created the agreement?
I drafted the agreement for the attorney, to review and approve.
And, so where do we start at on the, construction? So how do we know the full cost of what the construction is going to be?
Y'all would approve by budget, y'all would approve up to $15,000. If I blow it, I'll bring it back to you.
So we need to put that in the budget as well?
It is in this agreement.
$15,000.
Okay. Any other
But we're
questions?
getting $10,000 back from the,
The entire, yes, sir.
yeah.
And $10,000 back?
Yes.
10,000 will be contributed by the eye clinic.
So it's only going to cost the city 5. He's contributing 10 and then we share it. First come, first serve. Now I'm guessing the contract person has already looked at drainage and all that stuff. That's why
Yes, sir.
that's why
We're not altering anything.
Correct.
That's legalese that
No, I
we're
get
not
it.
going, once it's constructed, we're not going to require the eye clinic to come and blow out the gutters or things of that nature.
No, I get it.
So
Really wasn't used before.
No, but it does make a good, parking lot, it will.
Well, it will, but then no one has executive claim on it. It's going to be open for anybody who wants to park there. First come, first serve. It'll be a parking lot that it never was.
Yes, sir. So I'm just looking at where it says what the city agrees to do. So basically, the city agrees to design and construct. So we don't have a design. We don't have to what it looks
It will
like.
be done.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We're voting on
But they
this.
agreed to it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know, he always present us items and they'll agree before they even get the detailed information.
No, ma'am.
So what I'm saying is, we don't have the design, to construct the.
If we design it, I haven't been approved a budget to go out and hire engineers. I'm going to be sketching it out with a contractor. I want concrete from this line to this line over here, on city property, and we will pour concrete. So that's the design.
So that's what I'm asking. So why wouldn't you bring that to us and let us review before you? I mean, it's just like,
Because we didn't tell him to. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get him a budget so he can go talk to a contractor.
well, if you did.
Can we call the question? There's a motion in a second.
Okay.
We would have.
Somebody second it, please.
We would have, brought this item to be placed on the agenda today. I mean, so.
Oh, okay, we understand.
We have a call.
Okay, at
we
this
have a
time,
call for
we have a call for a
discussion.
motion. I mean, for a vote.
So I just, I don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. Shame. Honestly, these are my honest thoughts. I live in Precinct 3, by the way. This is my council person. And I didn't hear anybody fighting for more officers, saying, hey, we just had a shooting at a block party. Still looking into who authorized that block party. We'll get to that later. That's coming. No question about, I don't know, water, roads, schools. No. Let's talk about what money CEIDC account bounces into before it pays their. I mean, folks, it's ludicrous, and it's for shame. And I'll tell you why. I am against corruption of any kind. I hate corruption. I hate bureaucracies. I hate anything that has anything to do with misuse of funds, and I don't even like wasting time, money, energy. I'm a pretty conservative guy when it comes to that. For this council member to hold up a normal meeting that's happened the same way for 100 years, more than that, in the city of Crockett and every other city in the world, to try and find, yeah, but what about this? Why are we spending $2,000 on postage stamps? Not doing any of this beforehand. All of this, they had these packets days in advance. She obviously came prepared. She knew what questions to ask. She wanted to ask them in public. She wanted to make somebody look bad. She wanted to insinuate something without directly insinuating. Now, here's my point on all of this. And I say these words directly to Councilwoman Hicks. If you have some proof of corruption of any kind, misuse of any kind, we'll put it on the front page. You write the story. We'll print it word for word. You bring us some hard evidence. I would love to see it. You've been on that city council now for 2 years, a little over 2 years. Perhaps if you haven't found it by now, with all your extensive training and experience and knowledge and understanding of what the state does, and you just dominate these topics. If you haven't found anything in 2 years, maybe you don't have to put the brakes. Keep your eyes open. We elected you to keep your eye. Look for waste. Look for fraud. Yeah. Maybe take your foot completely off the gas pedal. Maybe let the pedal, take the metal from the pedal. Sounded like Smokey the Bandit there. Maybe let the gas off the floor. Just, that much. And don't waste everyone's time constantly looking for something that you seem to know is there, but have produced no evidence for. 3 to 4 emails a day. If I sent one person 3 to 4 emails a day for 2 years, I'd have found something. Oh, I would have found something. It's gotten absurd. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing us. We did not elect you to do that. Now, if it's there, find it. Yes, please find it. I don't know if the middle of a budget meeting is needs to be the Natrina Hicks show and put yourself on display. I think people are starting to get a little tired of that. And some might say, well, I don't know, Mr. Ritchie, she just won the recent elections. We'll leave that one alone for now, shall we?
I've been counting shadows where the figures should live. They said they'd send the numbers if I promised to forgive.